Hey guys, Phil Baumhardt here. So for today's video, I'm going to be making this Viking EDC knife. And so this actually was forged in the wintertime. I believe I started it in January of 2017 here. And I finished it, quite a while ago. But just the way that I am with my my video output is that there's always a little bit of a backlog. But the knife itself was made in the winter, so that's why you see snow on the ground, and a lot of the work is done here in the garage. But another thing I want to mention is this grinder. This is a 1x48 kind of jankety grinder that was given to me very graciously by one of my uncles. And I was using this for the grinding of this knife. And what I found is that it's just really not up to snuff for grinding metal. So I've seen some of these on eBay and all that, and I really wouldn't recommend spending the money on them. I did end up getting a actual knife grinder, and I'm gonna go into that in another video. But for now, I'll show you how I made this little knife. Okay, so now I'm going to anneal it like I always do in the forge. Get it hot, let it cool down in the ashes. That'll make it nice and soft. So hopefully you can see how well that belt polishes up that edge. So that's basically the primary bevel. Okay, so you can kind of see how thick that edge is there. I've got my primary bevel in there, and now I'm going to start using the work sharp to put that secondary bevel in. So I've got the knife quenched and tempered, so now I'm going to clean off all the fire scale on the wire wheel, and we'll put the final edge on there. Okay, so I got the copper ferrule sized up, got the handle shaped up. I don't have any stain or any finish on there yet. I'm going to do that after I glue it up, which is what I'm going to do right now. So you can kind of see how all that fits together. So I'm going to just fill up that whole cavity with some epoxy, and then leave it to set in the vise. Okay, so I wiped up all that excess glue. There's a pretty quick set of epoxy, so it's going to be solid in about 5 minutes. So there we go. Make sure everything's lined up. Lock it in. Okay, so the knife's all glued up. I'm gonna just give it a final go over with some sandpaper, clean up the wood, get the glue off of there, and I'm gonna put a coat of stain onto the handle. Okay, so the stain is dried on the knife handle, and now for a finishing touch, I'm just going to put on some linseed oil. Well, here's a look at the finished knife. Give you a little bit better view than right after I put the stain on there. So I don't remember if I actually mentioned it in the video itself, but this is a hickory handle, pig nut hickory handle, grown right here in Michigan, harvested by a former co-worker of mine, good guy. Shout out to Gary if you're listening. But the overall shape of this handle just feels really nice. It's fairly broad, it's kind of flat up in this region, and it kind of has a nice barrel shape to it, nice swell there. So in hand, this thing really feels comfortable. As an EDC knife, I think this would be a real joy to use and carry around. Fairly well balanced because of how narrow that tang is. It's still top heavy, but I kind of like that in my knives. But it's not overly top heavy. Fairly mid balanced. They're right about in there. So knife feels really good in hand. Nice thick blade. Basically kind of a concave Scandinavian grind on there, and I just went over this with the wire wheel, and that's what kind of gives it that gray storm cloud appearance that I'm fairly fond of. Some pretty deep hammer marks in there, but that just kind of helps make the knife look cool. So what I was going for with this was kind of a Anglo-Saxon style of knife. The blade ended up having a little more of a curve there at the end. I was kind of going for a straight edge, but just the way that this blade shape came out, I was happy with it. So I just kind of left it in there just as it is, and just kind of let it keep this organic shape. So this area here, this is all how it came out from the forge. A little bit of grinding there at the tip, but that's about it. The ferrule fit up is really nice. And this is a leather sheath that I made for, just that raw leather that I like to use, stained with some birch oil. Good stout belt sheath, nice fit. So this is a handsome knife. This is one that I decided that I'm going to try to start selling some knives and see if I can start making a living as a knife maker. And this is one that I kind of wish I was keeping, but as of right now, it's going to be available for sale on my Etsy web store. So if you want to own this particular knife, go ahead and check that out right now. I'm going to have other knives for sale on there, of course. But when it's gone, it's gone. It's a one-of-a-kind knife, of course. Or if I decide that I want to keep it, then I can't bear to part with it, which is a possibility. But there's a knife from a find in Hedeby that looks vaguely similar to this one, so that's why I'm calling it the Hedeby knife, and some of my photos and Instagram and all that. But I know hickory isn't a historically accurate Viking wood, but it looks nice. I'm really happy with the way this guy turned out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate the support, and if you want to help the forge and the channel grow, check out my Etsy web store. I got knives, I've got the cold steel axe modifications, chainmail knife lanyards, some other stuff on there as well. So maybe think about making a purchase. Even something small will go a long way and help the channel grow. So I've also got a Patreon page I'm starting there. If you want to support the channel that way, that would be awesome. But other than that, just keep on watching, hitting the thumbs up button, maybe leave it a comment. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be more Viking.